7 o'clock.
Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar
Double blessing and honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai. Back with another lesson through the spirit. We're going to be talking about current events going on in the news. And with that being said, I'm going to let the brother read the precept that he has on the screen.
You ready? The book of Jeremiah. You think everybody heard me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
The book of Jeremiah, 50th chapter, 9th verse. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, which is America, through the spirit, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Now we just going to do just like in the news. Babylon the Great, aka America, is setting themselves up just like the unrecognized state of Israel. They hated around the world now. They despised amongst men, as it reads in Jeremiah the 49th chapter. But the actions of America and your cruel king DJ, the rest of the world turning on them too, right? They already got beef with NATO, but we got a clip we're going to play to let you know why I just read this verse. Jeremiah 50:9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. So if you go to Ezekiel 38, you'll know they're going to be led by who? Russia. From the north country, that's Russia. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. That's going to be the culmination of World War III when them ICBMs get to shooting over here. But right now, the BRICS nations, what they call the global south, is setting themselves up. Because we got a clip. As we all know, this is breaking news. Trump has designated Venezuela as a foreign terrorist organization. And they over there sanctioning their oil tankers, right? That's going into Venezuela. But we got a clip right here to show you why this future prophecy is coming to effect. Jeremiah 50:33. How's the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Meaning Babylon the Great America. How's Babylon become a desolation among the nations? That's the only future that's coming for this country. And I know y'all got plans, 5-year plans, investments you're going to make. It's going to be futile. We heading into World War III on the world stage. And I'm just like Apostle the Heart say, it might kick off in 2026. Now let's play this clip real quick. Because we got some new players. Iran, China, and Russia have investments in Venezuela. And they're going to back them because they're ally. That's why I read Jeremiah 50:9. Along with Cuba and some more of the Caribbean countries. They setting up stuff. Russia's sending weapons over here, right? So let's play this and check this out.
By the United States is a true example of state-sponsored piracy for the official military forces of a country to use force against the commercial vessel of another country, whether in international waters or off the coast of a country for it. It is an act that violates international law. And as I mentioned, the entire international
we're going to read the international
to act against piracy should do the same in these cases. In these cases as well, the international community must unanimously oppose such actions and hold the United States government accountable.
A sharp diplomatic escalation unfolded on the coast, accusing Washington of piracy, saying the move crossed legal red lines and undermined global maritime norms.
We wasn't recording.
It's recording that already.
Yeah, you gotta go back probably about to like a minute. Salaki Israel, we've been having some technical difficulties. Probably go back before that. Yeah, that's good.
Right to conduct its own foreign and economic policies, warning that external coercion threatened regional stability across Latin America. Iran urged the international community to respond collectively, framing the tanker seizure as a test case for global opposition to what it called unilateral enforcement actions. Bakai said countries could not selectively oppose piracy while remaining silent when it involved state power, insisting accountability applied universally. The Iranian spokesperson also criticized European governments, accusing them of lacking independence on Iran's nuclear file and aligning their positions too closely with Washington.
Salaki Israel. Get this disclaimer out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that may otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Oh, I didn't try to do that. How you make this go down here?
This is the escape button.
Oh. Let me show this right quick. They Left Black. This is out the Time magazine. Right? This is Gamal Abdel Nasser. He was the king or president of Egypt, right? When he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated the Jews would never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but came back white. Your time is up, East South Edom. The 48 fakers have been exposed, and that came out in the 60s, and it's still going on today. But guess what?
This action by the United States is a true example of state-sponsored piracy. For a government, for the official military forces of a country to use force against the commercial vessel of another country, whether in international waters or off the coast of a country, there is absolutely no legal basis or justification for it. It is an act that violates international law, as itself obligated to act against piracy, should do the same in these cases. In these cases as well, the international community must unanimously oppose such actions and hold
The seizure followed heightened pressure by Washington on Venezuela's oil revenues. China's foreign ministry also criticized the move, reiterating opposition to what it described as illegal unilateral sanctions.
China firmly opposes illegal unilateral sanctions.
When the last time somebody put sanctions on America? I sit here and wait for y'all to answer that. Look it up. Never.
Sanctions and long-arm jurisdiction that lack a basis in international law and are not authorized by the UN Security Council. We oppose the abuse of sanctions. We have taken note of the relevant reports. all parties should abide by the principles of a market economy and fair competition and work together to safeguard the stability of global production and supply chains. We have noted that this positive measure, China is willing to maintain communication and consultation with India, country, safeguarding national sovereignty. The highest principle of one country, two systems is to protect national sovereignty, security, and development interests. The central government firmly supports the Hong Kong SAR in safeguarding national security and punishing crimes that endanger national security in accordance with the law.
The incident came days after a confirmed phone call between Russian President Vladimir Putin and leader Nicolas Maduro, underscoring Moscow's strategic backing as tensions escalated in the Caribbean.
You say he'd escape.
Yeah.
Let me pull up international law right quick. It's all about the natural resources because China has an investment in Venezuela as well as Russia. China has investment in Guyana too, which is the country right next to Venezuela. So it's all about natural resources, people, and the control of this region. That's why they keep bringing up the Monroe Doctrine. Let's look at international law, see what this is. International law, law of nations. International law, also known as public international law, and the law of nations is a set of rules, norms, legal customs, and standards that states and other actors feel an obligation to, and generally do, obey in their mutual relations. In international relations, actors are simply the individuals of collective entities, such as states, international organizations, and non-state groups, which can make behavioral choices, whether lawful or unlawful. Rules are formal, typically written exceptions that outline required behavior, while norms are informal, often unwritten guidelines about appropriate behavior that are shaped by custom and social practice. It establishes norms for states across a broad range of domains, including war and diplomacy, economic relations, and human rights. International law differs from state-based domestic legal systems in that it operates largely through consent, since there is no universally accepted authority to enforce it upon sovereign states. Venezuela is a sovereign state. States and non-state actors may choose not to abide by international law. I think they updated this shit. And even breach a treaty, because that's what Babylon the Great do. And them crown coverers, the 48 fakers. But such violations, particularly of preemptory norms, can be met with disapproval by others, and in some cases, coercive action, including diplomacy, economic sanctions, and war. So that's what is going on. America, Babylon the Great, don't go by international law, just like the Israelis don't go by international law. Now, let me get something right quick. Shalaki Israel. Let's get this right quick. Name. Oh, we can just get Micah 2 and 3 right quick. They covered fields. This is what it's all about. Micah 2 and 1. Woe to oppressors. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Now, they came out and said that Nicolas Maduro was the head of a drug cartel, right? Cartel de Sol.
They try to say this nigga was a kingpin.
A kingpin, right? They went with that narrative first, And when everybody came out and said fentanyl ain't even produced in Venezuela, it come through Mexico via China. Then they turned around and said that they supplying Iran with oil so they can fuel their proxy wars through Hezbollah and Hamas. That didn't work either. So now they just a terrorist state, right? They covered fields. And they, verse 2, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Now they just killed 95 people, right? Via airstrikes. We got a false flag situation that just happened over on the Bondi Beach in Australia where 15 people got killed, and that's supposed to be national news. Everybody supposed to be sad. Guess what, Israel? This is what the Lord got for the Edomites. Verse 3, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family, who? The so-called modern-day white man, do I devise an evil from which you shall not remove your necks, neither say you go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day, one shall take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation. And lamentation means crying, right? And say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed a portion of my people. How have he removed it from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields. So with all these bombs, sanctions that you put on people, the sanctions that you put on Venezuela caused the mass migration. And now you mad, saying that the Maduro entered his prisons and let all his criminals come to America. No, George Soros did that. When you look into it, George Soros is behind the immigration that took place in Europe and the immigration that took place over here in America. It's all playing, people. Be aware. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to get, can you read what you was reading? Oh, you said divide the land.
Micah 2 and 4.
Yeah.
In that day, once they take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed a portion of my people. How have he removed it from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields.
I want to get this to back that up. At the end of the day, all of the things that go on is just about money and business. Especially when it comes to people taking land and things of that nature. This is Daniel 11:39. It says, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And as he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. That's all these people have done throughout history, is divide the land that the Lord gave to other nations and take it and stronghold it. You know, that's what they've been good at throughout these generations. You know, so like you said, you have sovereign nations who will rule over larger nations. You know what I'm saying? Nations that have sanctions put on them. It's like what America is, they liken unto a woman. They want to be in everybody else's business or things that don't concern them or have anything to do with them. What these other nations got going on have to do with you? For instance, Venezuela. Venezuela not pushing no drugs into the United States. Like I always say, in the book of Psalm 55, it says the real trouble and the real danger is within the city gates. It's within the city. So that's where the real wickedness is coming from. If you really look at it, the whole pharmaceutical industry as a whole have been pushing out worse and stronger things to the people and the public. And on top of that, you know, I always say this too. They only shining a light on the war on drugs right now because it's majority affecting Edomites. But when it was affecting our people, we was crackheads, crack babies, crack mamas, all this other stuff. It wasn't no national emergency, or they wasn't looking into it like that, because like even they was changing the laws, like, or the rules of you getting charged. You get charged more for a smaller amount of crack versus if you had cocaine, because it's looked at as a rich man's drug or a white man's drug. So the only reason why they really is pressed on this whole drugs coming into the United States and a whole opioid addiction and all the other stuff is because it's affecting Edomites, which they always just been known to be on that type of timing, just using hardcore drugs all the time. Like they was even like that when I was going to school. Like people just hooked on nicotine in middle school, 11, 12, 13 years old. So that's not nothing new. As a reason, man, there's nothing new under the sun.
Hey, and then I wonder why DJ ain't trying to go at China. They the ones that's making this fentanyl. And where was it? He said they flip-flop because look into this for yourself. The British-Chinese wars. Queen Elizabeth's mama went to war with China because they didn't want the British selling heroin in China. They went to war with them over there to force them to buy their heroin. That's how these Edomites get down. That's how they get their empires. The drug trade business is controlled by who? Esau Edom. Let me get this right quick. Let's go to the book of Numbers, because this was going to take place. Ever since the so-called modern-day white man been on the western side of this hemisphere, from Canada all the way down to the tip of Brazil, they ain't been doing nothing but taking people's land and killing them. So we go to Numbers 35. It's a rule from the Lord. I'm at 32. I started at 32. They talking about the cities of refuge, right? With the Israelites when we took over the land. I started at 30. Numbers 35 and 30. Whoso killeth a person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Now, they just had a little fake congressional hearing from the first time when they first started bombing these boats over in Venezuela. When they came back, they doubled back and killed some survivors, right? So we don't need a mouth of one witness. The whole world see what you're doing. Verse 31. Moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. This is coming for you, Esau Edom. Just like I read in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. And you shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land, until the death of the priest. Like I say, this talking about our land laws, right? And when somebody commit an act, when we had our homeland, the land of Israel, which is currently being called Palestine. Here go the point right here, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So that would mean all the way over in our homeland of Palestine. Guess who's going to pay for all the murders? The Edomites. Over here in the Americas, since the time of Cristobal Colon, whom you call Christopher Columbus, guess who's going to pay for all that bloodshed? They date all the way back to the 1400s. The Edomites, right? That's why I read in Isaiah, prepare a slaughter for his children. You go around, the so-called modern-day white man, he act like a so-called black gangster rapper. They don't have no problem telling you on record that they killed this person, that person, but as soon as somebody they know die, they curl up like a little bitch-ass baby and get to crying, right? So, on record, so far today, they done killed over 70,000 Palestinians. And now we're gonna bring this up because this is in the news. You got the false flag, the incident that happened in Australia where 15 people died. And then at Brown University where 2 people died. And they want y'all to be remorseful for that and have sympathy for them for that. Why? The world is seeing what you're doing, Esau. So therefore, when your blood is shed, ain't nobody caring about that. You can't say anti-nothing. Because you have no problem putting people to sleep. So, as it is written, Let me read it again. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Who shed out the blood over in what is modern day America, the Caribbean, South America, Central America? These Edomites. So blood coming to you. As you have, let's get it from Obadiah. Shalaki. And then our people sitting around still in the docile state of mind. They still in the land of mirth. They thinking everything's still gravy. These other nations beating they what did it say? How it go? Beat your plowshares.
I'll beat your plowshare
into spears.
Yes. Let the weak say I'm strong.
Let the weak say I'm strong. We'll get there. Let's jump down to 15. The day of Yahweh and the future. Read the whole book of Obadiah if you get a chance. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, this is especially for Esau, Edom, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. That's why the scripture said in the book of Job, they're going to get eliminated. They ain't going to have no remnant of their ass left, no kids, none of that shit. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, because you got to remember, the northern kingdom came over here first. As ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. You got the BRICS nations. They steady gaining momentum. They tired of all these sanctions that America, the EU, and NATO putting on all these other countries. So guess what? Death is coming to who? So-called modern-day white man. And after that, continual employment. Go ahead.
Continue.
Let me find this other another
continue employment. I got precept for you. The book of Proverbs, first chapter. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Here's my point. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
Get Psalm 64:8 right quick. Because they telling on each other. Every time something go down, within 48 hours, the other Edomites, the lower level Edomites, telling on the elite Edomites. Right? Fair use is in full effect. Let me see. I just saw this. I was going to use the last night.
Book of Psalm 64 and verse
8.
Verse 7, but the Most High Power shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Yeah.
Esau Edom is continually getting exposed.
Yep, they got whistleblowers. And look at this right here. They got a former. So like we just said, it was just an incident in Australia, right? Where it was some small hatters on the beach celebrating Hanukkah, and they got attacked by two guys that had ties to Pakistan. But guess who they blamed it on? Iran. Then they little propaganda ain't working no more. They witchcraft don't work no more. They have control of. Oh yeah, I got a
wisdom has perished.
Yeah, their wisdom has perished, right? Let me just go ahead and say this disclaimer. I did a lesson the other day and said that the 48 fakers bought X. They didn't buy X. They bought TikTok, right? And Paramount. So forgive me for that. Salaki for that. But let's play this clip.
Let me get this.
I'll go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 24, verse 14, says, for the Most High Power shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So, like he was saying, these Edomites going to have to pay for all the atrocities that they've committed.
And all these lies. Let me get Let me get something right quick before I get this. Now I'm gonna play it. What if you can bring up Isaiah 47? See, back in the day, back when my father was living, everybody got their information from the newspaper. Wasn't no social media. Go down to that witchcraft. Go down a little more. Let me see. There it is. 47:10.
There we are now.
Yeah, you can. Then we're gonna play this from the CIA. They got whistleblowers. Esau turning on Esau. Their house is truly divided. What's that, Mark 3rd chapter?
The book of Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Go to the zone down to the reading this.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee.
Go down to 12.
Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand thou with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail.
Now, see, I just did a lesson a couple days ago from off the Jimmy Dore show, right? Like it say now. Therefore, the evil shall come upon thee. Thou shalt know from whence it comes, right? They know that the media outlets ain't helping them. So they got to come with some false flags, right? They just said this right before this incident happened at Brown University and at Bondi Beach in Australia, right? So they got to try to get the people back on their side in support of them 48 fakers, but ain't nobody supporting them no more. And now they even turning on America. People seeing things for what they are. The EU, NATO, and America are corrupt. And they only punish and try to destroy lower level countries. Right? So I'm going to play this. Can I just go ahead and play this? I'm going to play this right quick. We're going to check this out. Former CIA agent exposes the Bondi Beach false flag operation. This is from Redacted for educational purposes only. Like Israel. You hear what he just said? Before the incident happened at Bondi Beach, people over in the unrecognized state of Israel was Googling to search for the name of the shooter. Before it even happened. Like Karatazar just said, is there no more wisdom in teaming? The Lord have taken away the wisdom out of teaming. You can read that in Obadiah, Jeremiah, the 49th chapter, right?
Talk about how these like false flags actually unfold, maybe how long and months attacks, or not so clandestine as in the case of Bondi Beach in Australia and Brown University. Well, Kevin Shipp spent 17 years in the CIA, and when he quit a number of years ago, he's been on a crusade to expose how these shadowy operations unfold. His newest book is called Twilight of the Shadow Government. It's an absolute page-turner, and it's shocking, to say the least. I highly encourage you all to read it. But I wanted to have Kevin on today to talk about the weekend's events and everything that we've seen, as now a lot of weird occurrences are popping up. Like, Kevin, great to see you, by the way, but like Google searches in Israel before the shooting happens for the name of the shooter. Like, okay, are they getting sloppy? I mean, that's just my one high level thought process here. Maybe you can talk about how these false flags fold. How long and months ahead of time are these things being put together before they're actually carried out?
Well, they are planned for months. And if you notice, going all the way back to 9/11, I have my own thoughts about that. A legitimate criminal investigation was never done there. So I disagree with the 9/11 report. But one of the things when the CIA plans these operations is they always choose a man. It's all got to be one person, because if it's just one person, it's not a conspiracy. And you can, and law enforcement or Congress can't go into the conspiracy of more than one person if there's just one boogeyman. So if you can select your boogeyman and you can
You already just see? And then the council people are doing things and they saying they don't know what took over them. Hey, boy, this government is wicked. And you wonder why. The Lord finna destroy it.
So you find your boogeyman and you program, and you can hit him with chemicals or directed energy weapons or something to not a conspiracy. And you can, and law enforcement or Congress can't go into the conspiracy of more than one person if there's just one boogeyman. So if you can select your boogeyman and you can hit him with chemicals or directed energy weapons or to derange his mind, and the human brain is all of that is very easily programmable. It is. So you find your boogeyman and you program that boogeyman to kill. He or she goes out and does the dastardly act, and then immediately, like Osama bin Laden, we got the boogeyman, enough to see here. That's how they do it. And if you look, it's always one person, one boogeyman, who had no indication previously that they had any murders or even criminal tendencies. And all of a sudden, like Tyler Robinson, despite all the facts that don't add up with Charlie Kirk's murder, there's the boogeyman. This is the guy who did it, despite all the evidence that how could he possibly have done this with dismantling his rifle and putting that together and all that stuff. No. He's the boogeyman. He did it. We got him. No conspiracy, nothing to see here. That's how they do it.
Well, and there's so many questions I have about what unfolded in Australia, because in the months leading up to this attack, there were a number of reports about, as Max Blumenthal from the Gray Zone has reported back in February, there were a number of reports about operations or paid actors. Make threat money's coming from. Where are these paid actors? Who are these rabble rousers? And of course, immediately after the shooting, Benjamin Netanyahu inserts himself into this entire operation. Mossad is now in Australia assisting with the investigation, and immediately they said Iran is behind this. So you talk about a boogeyman here. The boogeyman is Iran, because they desperately want us to go to war with Iran. So, I mean, but it seems like they got pretty lazy with this one. I mean, it seems pretty blatantly obvious to anyone with a mind or brain.
As is the case with human nature, the more arrogant they get, the more stupid they get. And some of these operations.
You already just said the more arrogant they get, the more stupid they get. That's the elite. Let me read this right quick. From the Wisdom of Solomon. Salakia, from Baruch 3:22. Wisdom was not found by the Canaanites, meaning the Hamites. It has not been discovered by the Edomites. All they wisdom come from the left-hand side, which is witchcraft, wickedness. Although they search after knowledge, the way to wisdom has not been found by the merchants of Moran and Tema, right? One of the houses of Esau Edom, or by those who relate fables, or by any others who seek understanding. And that's what these Edomites are. They're the king of fables. Let me get this in that was the Good News translation. Let me get it in the King James Version.
While he gets that, I'm going to get Jeremiah 49:10. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because
they're the author of fables. Look at this. Baruch 3 in the King James Version, right? Out of the Apocrypha. Baruch 3:23. The Agarenes that seek wisdom upon earth, the merchants of Moran and of Tema, right? One of the houses of Esau Edom. The authors of fables. I mean, they come up with lies, right? And searches out of understanding. None of these have known the way of wisdom or remember her paths, because fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. These Edomites don't fear the Lord. They just like coming up with fables that ain't nobody believing no more. They the stories ain't holding up.
Psalm 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Yeah, that's how they do
this
it.
Disinformation is almost ridiculous, but they put it out there anyway. This horrific, awful thing on Bondi Beach there. All of a sudden, Mossad's on the scene. It's like, what do you got to do with it? This is the Australian government, Australian people. What in the world does Mossad have to do with any of this, and why are they there? Now,
that's a big indicator. The Mossad is the secret agency, just like the CIA in America, right? And MI6 in Great Britain. The Mossad is the secret agency in the unrecognized state of Israel. What the fuck you doing way over in Australia trying to regulate what's going on with them? You showed up right on time, too. That must mean you had something to do with it.
Mossad has no ethics. I've been followed by Mossad when I traveled to Israel.
Well, this coming from another Edomite. The Mossad, CIA, MI6. He just said it. You heard what he said. They have no ethics. Now check this out.
Doing security for an international speaker in Mossad, since I was former CIA, followed me everywhere I went. They will do anything to expand Israel's power, and they have no walls, no barriers. There's nothing against murder, assassination, mass kill, anything. None of that is in Mossad at all. It's whatever it takes, and that's what.
Prime example. They put bombs in pages and fuck the people of Lebanon up, talking about they was going to Hezbollah. But that wasn't a terrorist act. If the role would have been reversed, it would have been all-out war from all these Edomite countries. Like they trying to set up now with the thing that just happened in Australia, right? It's going to be several, they telling y'all now, it's going to be several false flags in America too, leading up to the pagan holiday of Christmas. So beware, Israel. You shouldn't be out to none of them events no damn way.
What we're seeing here with Australia, they're inserting themselves into this horrific act. And the question is, what the heck are you doing there? What the heck? Netanyahu comes out with this statement. And once again, here comes the boogeyman. I mean, we always have to look for the boogeyman. And here we go. Boogeyman is Iran. Iran did it. And Mossad is now building this case that this was done against the nation of Israel, false flags are common in the CIA's playbook since Vietnam and the Gulf of Tonkin, where the ships that allegedly attacked U.S. boats didn't exist. They were painted on the radar. So it's an operational technique with the CIA. And that as unethical and immoral as the CIA is, you can take Mossad and multiply that by 50. They have no guardrails.
And of course, there's very little daylight, as you and I have talked before, there's very little daylight between the CIA and Mossad. So
Right.
when these operations are being carried out, when we say Mossad, what we really mean is the CIA and MI6.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, they're all in cahoots, right?
They are. Yeah, they're brothers and sisters. No question about it. Especially the Mossad and the CIA. The CIA FBI considers Mossad its chief intelligence asset in the Middle East, and they're woven in with Mossad, like I said, like sister organizations. Well, they are sister organizations, and so when the Mossad does something, many times the CIA is involved, except for when Mossad actually targets the CIA itself to try to steal information from the agency. So it's a frenemies kind of relationship where they both connect with they share intelligence on a massive high-level scale with high-level clearances that the U.S. doesn't do with any other country. So essentially they are joined at the hip.
We're not going to show it here on the show because he's covered in blood, but
that's all we needed, Israel. John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. That's the Edomites. That's why Revelation 6:4 is in full effect. That's why I was wrote. I am come that they may have life. This is how Mashiach speaking. I am come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Meaning, y'all should not take on the practices of these heathens, being full of pride and taking things like they have done. Right? Let's go back up out of here. This escape button. Yo. Let's get this.
Yeah, you might don't have no problem telling on each other.
So don't, especially when they ain't getting part of it. If they eating a piece of their pie, they wouldn't be concerned. They wouldn't see his shit. Man, why come this ain't pulling up?
I'll probably click reload.
We see that it works. Bing, bing. Let me get this. Let me get this right quick. There. Something going on with my Shilaki Israel. You see this?
What you looking for?
I wanted to go to Wisdom of Solomon, but it ain't let me pull it up.
You scroll past the Apocrypha.
There you go. But look how it go. You gonna go. Oh. Let's go to the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. I don't like how this layout is. This is the thought of Esau Edom. Read the Wisdom of Solomon. Read the Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. I started at 1. Wicked people are wrong when they say to themselves, our life is short and full of sorrow, and when it ends, there is no escape. They do err not knowing the scriptures, because through regeneration, we keep coming back. No one has ever been known to come back from the world of the dead. Yes, they have, through the Spirit. Regeneration. Let me jump down. Because this they playing, right?
I remember some former things.
Verse 6, the wicked say, come on, then let's enjoy the good things of life and live in this world the way we did when we were young and free of care.
That's the yellow spirit that they've put on these people over here in the West.
Yeah, by Drake. You ain't heard of him no more. YOLO spirit. Let's drink the most expensive wines and use the finest perfumes. Let's not miss a single flower in the springtime, meaning women. You see what's going on with them Epstein files, right? Before the roses wither, let's pick them and wear them in our hair. Let's all join in and leave signs everywhere of our carefree revelry. Life owes us that much, right? We'll oppress the poor if they are righteous. We'll show no respect for widows or old people who operate like that besides these so-called white people. They kill women, children, elderly. They're doing it right now with the depopulation techniques they got.
No moral compass.
No moral compass. They practicing eliminating the old people, they finna fuck up the healthcare, right? They already hitting them with that motherfucking jump shot that they saying is killing people, and they still promoting it. Righteous people are nothing but a nuisance. He's talking about the elect of the house of Israel. So let's look for chances to get rid of them. They are against what we do. They accuse us of breaking the law of Moses and violating the traditions of ancestors, which they do. Right? They claim to know the Most High power, and they call themselves the Lord's children. Who was that? The Israelites. We can't stand the sight of people like that. Why do you think they've been trying to eliminate us since the beginning? Since Esau lost his blessing, which was already foretold. What did he say in Genesis? The days will come where I shall kill my brother Jacob, right? Right? So that's what the operation, that's what's been going on since the beginning of time. Let me continue. I'm going to drop down to 21. That is how evil people think, but they are wrong. They are blinded by their own wickedness. They have never known the Most High Power's secrets, never hoped for the rewards of a holy, blameless life, right? Why come it ain't Shalaki Israel? Let me go to my, let me get this in. Let me get this again. Verse 11 is what I want. But this Good News translation ain't read. I mean, it ain't translating right. Verse 11, we'll call ourselves right if we are strong enough to get what we want. That's what they do. But in the King James Version, it reads, Wisdom of Solomon 2:11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Meaning, that's why they keep coming up with these laws, statutes, and decrees that benefit them only. Right? So you got to be aware of that. They got the Greater Israel Project going on. It seemed like with DJ in office, they finna try to expand their influence over here in the Western Hemisphere. They want control of everything the people of Central America and South America are doing. But they making alliances with the BRICS nations. And they will soon come after who? America. Babylon the Great. For all the wickednesses they have done. Go ahead.
Well, with that being said, man, I don't have much more to add. Let me see. Cause I'm pretty sure all the current events I was going to talk about, we already talked about it. Oh yeah, Donald Trump expanded the travel ban, which just goes into, you know what I'm saying, people may desire to go into a city. That's just like on a smaller end or a smaller scale. We already talked about the drugs and stuff like that. Job report crisis. It's less jobs than it is people. It's actually more people who are out of a job than it is open spots for a job.
See, okay. That didn't even work.
I go to current events in the world.
What about, did we just see something about what 30-some people just got killed?
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
South Asia.
Yeah. The South Asia, the Pacific realm been getting hit hard by the Lord.
Yeah, they've been having
monsoons, earthquakes, landslides.
They got a war going on over there.
Millions of people displaced. Yeah, they got wars going on, wars and rumors of wars. Oh, they saying that that Thailand Cambodia conflict is a proxy war of America because they finna try to go at China.
Yeah. We're
gonna see how that work out for y'all. China gonna fuck y'all up.
They already had a proxy war going with them with Pakistan and Afghanistan.
But,
they saying every 15 seconds, nigga, a child is dying from famine.
What's that, Mark? We get in on that. Let me get that real quick. I mean, Book of Matthew, 24th chapter. Because
we say, man, we got roughly 2 more weeks of this year left. 2026 is gonna be a year and a time to be alive.
Full of death and destruction. If you ain't careful, the Lord will eliminate your ass. The Lord is the just Lord is in the midst of.
We're coming upon year 5 of you all have 3 to 5 years to live if you took that juice.
Oh, they coming out with it now too. They saying it now. All the morticians, the people that's running the funeral homes, they can't not hide the fact that them blood clots and it's all kind of elastic stuff coming out when they do them embalmings of the people that are already in the past. Right? You got the conflict still over in the Democratic Republic of Congo between them and Rwanda and M23. It's a number of proxy wars that's been created by who? The CIA, MI6, and the Mossad. Right? Matthew 24:6. And you should hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? America trying to go to war with Venezuela. They want to go to war with Colombia too. And now they say they might bomb Mexico because of the drug trade. But they ain't said nothing about these pharmaceutical companies who kill just as many people with their prescription medications, right? And you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See, they can be in trouble. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation. Proxy war. Cambodia and with the Thailand. Yeah. Right? You got the DRC against Rwanda. And they, like you just said, they just came out with a new bans list. They didn't ban the CL countries from coming over here. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They can't even come over here. Don't nobody want to come over here no way. The economy is crashed.
These other countries look at America as a third world country.
Yeah, it's almost a third world country now. It soon will be. All these, Mashalaki, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. He just said every 15 seconds, a baby dies from famine. And pestilences. They got all kind of they got a new pestilence on the earth that they misdiagnosed. It's people walking around with a walking pneumonia. Right? You got earthquakes in diverse places. Right? All these are the beginning of sorrows. That grace period is closing, Israel, for you to repent and return to your power. Go ahead, that's all I'm doing.
All right, so with that, I'm going to close the lesson off there. I give all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakar Kadash.
Double blessing and honor to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, we say Shalom, Israel, Shalom.
Shalom.
And as always, we're one day close to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shalom.
Shalom.